Theme is Skywatch Innovation. Skywatch Innovation offers security software platform for video surveillance that features ease of use, installation, and cloud recording. Please welcome Skywatch Innovation.
Hello, welcome. Skywatch is an intelligent home automation product, and we like to say that with Skywatch, your house becomes home and your place becomes your friends. We offer a range of network cameras and sensors, and they are connected to our cloud-based IoT platform. And here are a list of our current customers, and they're mostly stores, as you can see. They range from 1 or 2 stores to 100 or 200 stores on the right. And they all face similar questions or problems when we talk to our customers. Basically, government regulation and cash flow and personnel, but most of all, what they want to do is having a safe and secure environment for their company to operate in. So most of them would tend to go and subscribe for a security service. The reason is that it is extremely difficult and expensive for these stores, even at 200 store scale, to build their own security services. You have your hard drives at local site, and you have your personnel, IT personnel, and you have your cloud machines. So it's really, really expensive in terms of the technology and cost involved. Now, usually they will go and subscribe for a professional security service, but running a security service is actually pretty expensive. And this is why one of the reasons why they're so expensive, because they have security centers to filter out all these false alarms. So we think that security centers needs to be a bit smarter. They need to have a bit more intelligence. And what we think is that how much intelligence is sufficient? Where do we draw the line, right? So we like to say that a modern security system should make intelligent observations such that human can make informed decisions. And we like to say that we like to assume or maybe tell you guys that Skywatch, it has a solution for this. And all these buzzwords down there, I like to just walk you through a few things that we did to sort of make a modern security system better. The first thing we did is that we built a IoT platform that connects all these devices together. There's several advantages to this. First, all these devices are connected on the cloud, so it makes things very easy to install. And secondly, we can record all these data on the cloud if needed. And this also allows a user to connect to multiple places within one single login. Now, another advantage is that since you have all these devices on the cloud, you can add features without changing the hardware. This is one of the examples. We can skip the less important bits and fast forward when basic slow down when important things occur. And this is already on the product on the market for on our platform. Now we also have experimented or released a few more algorithms or features. This is done for a few customers where they want to know a bit more about their store's foot traffic and gender distribution. And then we also have experimented with deep learning algorithms to recognize the scenes of these videos. And this allows us to put video tags or subtitles into these videos. And this allows us to do searching and makes it easier to find the contents you wanted. Now, in terms of sensing, usually most of the customers will not find this kind of if-then clause sufficient because it's a bit too simple. And we have already talked to most of them, and a lot of them seems to have difficulty moving toward to a more complicated rule. So this is why we are proposing this, where we actually built a few of these algorithms that allowed us to use the same if-then clause, but replace the rules and make it a bit more intelligent. And this is what I mentioned earlier, intelligent observations, so that we can make informed decisions with less anxiety. So now about our go-to-market strategy. Because our services require hardware, so initially we would do our own brand hardware, and then we actually push out all these devices to different markets through our distributors or directly. Now, another opportunity is that there's actually a lot of vendors like telcos or hardware or software connectivity company, and they have already released their hardware all over the world. And the reason I mention this is that by recruiting all these devices, this greatly increased our reachable devices. These are the number of devices that we can reach today, not in the future. We have already currently tens of thousands of devices out there, and between 20 to 30% of these devices, they will come back and subscribe for between $5 to $10 per month US dollar of a service. Now we have worked with telco and security companies, and they have about hundreds of thousands of customers, the companies that we work for. And in this segment, you have about 80% conversion rate. It's generally pretty high. For hardware and P2B vendors, these are the software that are already installed in the camera for easy installation. And quite a few of them talk to us to actually add more services, intelligence services, recording services on top of these services. And currently, as of today, the devices that are online, that we are reachable, is about 10 million devices. And the estimate is about 10% of them can be converted to come back and pay for the services. These are the actual companies that we work with, and these are the numbers that I showed you earlier that came from. In addition to our distributors, we have worked with a majority, actually, of telcos and security companies in Taiwan. And we are one of the only 2 certified suppliers for video surveillance service in Taiwan for the Taiwanese government. We have worked with hardware vendors, and we have worked with the software stack connectivity vendors, and we are currently delivering the first solutions to our customers. This is the team. This is actually just the co-founders. I'm Wei Chao Chen, and I have been working in the tech field for a very long time. So I probably built quite a few of these chips that you're actually using today, or maybe mobile phones. I'm also a adjunct faculty at the National Taiwan University. Okay. And JP Yang is my business partner, and he has already delivered over products in over 60 countries. So a lot of business experiences. And Vivotek is our corporate sponsor currently. He helped us get started and currently owns about 20% of our company. And I think this is my call to you guys. With your help, we like to make Skywatch a better company. We want to build cutting-edge technology and make best-of-class products for the years to come. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Judges? Raymond?
So which market sector are you trying to target? Because you raised, in the very beginning of your presentation, you're comparing yourself with the security services that third parties provide, right? And a lot of companies contract these services because their compliance requirements, because they need instant response capabilities that only these type of third parties can fulfill. By following through your presentation, I don't think that is your competitor. I don't think you're trying to compete with those services. But then I don't understand, how are you positioning yourself in the market? Are you trying to target the home user? You're trying to target businesses? So can you please explain?
Right. So basically, our original target are small business, and we found that small businesses and home user has a lot of overlap, right? The reason that I mentioned security companies is that we are actually providing the technology layer for them. We're working with them. So there are 2 major security companies in Taiwan, and we're working with one of them, right? And we're providing the product to them. And the end users can be stores, and then can be end users. And we like to build the product for our actual users, and then we can demonstrate the product to our actual channel.
So your initial customers would be the security and surveillance providers or system integrators, where you're providing a product to them.
They're more like, they're a bit more like channel. The product will be used by the end users, right? So initially we push the product to the end user and make sure it actually works and is stable enough. And then security companies sort of came to us, and then we start working together. This is how it progressed.
So
Yeah.
the users initially are the small businesses.
Most of them, yes, because small businesses, they're more concerned about security and they actually have money to spend in terms of the recurring revenue part. So we try not to go to the biggest market where people are throwing out cheap network cameras and we cannot compete with a lot of Chinese vendors who are selling cameras at like 300 RMB, right? It's basically suicide. But we found that this particular niche, all these small businesses who are willing to spend money, but they are not willing to spend $100 per month, right? They're happy to spend $20 per month. And this is where we come in. They cannot take consumer products and use it for their businesses.
Jerry, please.
So before I ask my question, I just want to get understand a bit. You're a software company, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I guess I'm going to follow up on the question that the gentleman asked. Normally, the security companies are a large fixed cost kind of system. So usually means that regionally you only have like 2 or 3 dominant players, because if you're sending out a patrol car, it's easier if you have more customers there. And which means that by default, most of the security market is going to be like monopoly or duopoly, and which puts you in a very wrong position in terms of negotiation. Have you started negotiating with them? What's the power structure you're experiencing right now?
This is why we start from Taiwan, right? We actually have some potential reach, but currently we work with one of these 2 largest security companies in Taiwan. It is extremely difficult to get a business deal, and extremely difficult to get in, right? We've known them for like 10 years, and the company is about 4 years old, and they talked to us for 3 years, and we got a deal last year. So it's really long process, but I think the advantage is that this kind of platforms, the real platform, is really difficult to build and takes time. And because we're certified by the Taiwanese government, it means that we have good quality and the security is good enough. And then they basically say, okay, we think you guys are good enough. And then we started a formal deal. So the shipping volumes are increasing in that respect. On the other hand, right, we have actually shipped to the Chunghwa Telecom just recently, several thousand units because of the same logic, right? They wanted to see if you're actually for real, if your product can be used. And I think this is one of the process. You gotta wait out this period and make sure the platform works.
So there are a lot of startups that are doing the hardware version of computer vision. For example, just detect the age and know that it's going to be much more efficient in terms of computational efficiency. And if you're closing the deal every 3 or 4 years, that means that by the time they roll out the products, you only sign 3 or 4 more deals, and those devices could completely change the scenario because your software is now, I wouldn't say useless, but it faces very stringent competition from cameras that are already outputting lower data volume and all that. How do you see that? Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry for all these hardware vendors here, but hardwares are cheap, right? The ROI, right, it's less than 1 year. So the installation is more expensive than the hardware actually itself, right? We're doing some of the computation on the camera, some of the computation on the cloud. If it deems to be too expensive to do it on the cloud, we can replace the camera within a year, and it won't be a lot of capital expense. Actually, sending out the person and putting the cameras or devices on the wall, that's more expensive. Yeah.
Time's up. Thank you very much. Thank you, Skywatch Innovation.